The Tale of Two Cities, Symmetry, Heterotopia and Special Relations in Lagos is a 45-minute lecture delivered on July 13 by Dr. Shino Alimi, a postdoctoral fellow from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, at the University of Lagos African Cluster Center, Lagos State. He started his lecture by analyzing what symmetry teaches about the social world, how spatial configurations of symmetries mirror urban social realities, and ways the understanding of spatial order of necropolis contribute to the episteme of spatial relations. Dr. Shino Alimi made a particular reference to the relativist theories of spatial relation and argued that the idea of space in itself is meaningless without an understanding of how materials are constituted and arranged in space.
I frame and treat symmetry as a space with heterogeneous places where many sites, the local and the global, meet and collapse into each other. I treat Lagos symmetry as a residue of colonial rule and post-colonial experiences and policies. Like the metropolis, Necropolis is also a site where social relations of gender, power, race, ethnicity, peace, violence, anger, pain, genocide, poverty, wealth, suicide, heroism, and of course, glorious exit are manifested. Of this unfathomable, void, and ambiguous concept in understanding human experience. But how do we comprehend space in philosophical, sociological, and historical terms?
By extension, he noted that the social arrangements of people, materials, and residential spaces in Lagos constitute an effective way of understanding how space is socially produced in the city, where he applied the concept of dualism of megacity and megaslum to examine the patterns of residential relation in Lagos and juxtaposed same with the Atan symmetry, where he gave some approaches of economic survival adaptation and forceful appropriation of land.
In this case, space is conceived as a void that can be filled with various bodies without losing its emptiness. Newton treats relativity of space as a mere measure of space absoluteness, and thereby represents some movable dimension of it, which can be perceived through the position of emplaced bodies. Newton therefore postulates dualism between space and matter, thereby emphasizes two realities. For Kant, space is the ordering principle, prior to lived experience. Thus, space, according to Kant, of the relativist spatial analysis are relationality, boundaries, and time. On the other hand, argues that heterotopias are counter-site that are interlaced with slices of time, and thus open to what he calls heterochronies. Foucault's heterochronies depict the temporal forms of heterotopic space. He identifies two major forms of heterochronies: spaces of indefinitely accumulating time and heterotopias of time in its most flowing and transitory form.
An international fellow in Beirut University, Vivian De Freitas, who was at the lecture, said the lecture was inspirational and educative, as Dr. Shino Alimi finally gave a simple summary of the topic and the inspiration behind the project.
It was very inspirational for my own research because personally I can say that it addresses the concept of temporality in a very, very rich and well-documented way in relation to spatiality. So for me, it was inspirational indeed.
How we can understand spatial relations of urban city anywhere in the world by looking at the space of the dead, i.e. the cemetery where people are buried. Okay, that is the focus of the paper. And behind this is that as a researcher and a scholar, it is important for us to do innovative research and to ensure that whatever research we do has significant application to the development of the society. The government of Lagos State proposed a new dimension to burial culture, i.e. the use of cremation, okay, whereby the corpse could be burnt and the residue could be dispersed, or so that was a proposal, but that has not been properly, effected. Very soon, what we have, within all different burial space that we have in Lagos may not be sufficient. We'll be thinking about another way of introducing, a way of introducing another culture and practice that could help us manage the limited space that we have within this city.
However, the study showed that the material constituents of necropolis confer the status and feature of heterochrony on cemetery through the accumulation of time and convergence of different historical epochs. Victoria Oluwatoba reporting for KAFTAN TV News.